Greetings with love and light. Today we are going to discuss about an interesting topic, which is the origin of humanity. What do we need to know about that in our wisdom journey? You will get to know at the end of this video. So when I say the origin of humanity, I meant the origin of human body because the origin of soul evolution, evolution of soul is different, the evolution of human body is different. So at the end of this video, you will get to know the answers for these questions. So whenever we speak about the human evolution, our scientific proof is Darwin theory. Is Darwin theory is true? If it is true, why the archaeology or geological findings doesn't get along with Darwin's theory? And why there is a huge gap between Homo erectus and Homo sapiens, which is the stages of human evolution. There is a huge gap which cannot be explained by the science. And who is Anunnaki? Why a lot of spiritual researchers and also the archaeologists are speaking about them, common people. Why do we need to know about them? What is the history of this concept, Anunnaki concept? Let's explore that. And what is the actual truth about the human origin? If we find the answers for the previous questions, then you will find the answer for what is the actual truth on human origin. So we will get to know that. And then also we will explore. Right now, there are actually 12 strands in our DNA. Some people say 13 strands. But in all those strands, only 2 strands are active. The remaining strands are called junk DNA by our scientist. Why it is so? Okay, what is the truth behind that? So let's unravel all these things to get to know the truth because everyone has the right to gain the true wisdom. Actual archaeology finding according to the human fossil. So this is what they say. The scientists say this is our evolution. And if you look at that, the last evolution, our modern humans are called, our ancestors are Homo sapiens. Okay, so we are from Homo sapiens, but the ancestor of Homo sapien was Homo erectus. So if you look at the gap, evolution gap between the Homo erectus and Homo sapiens, it is huge. Okay, comparing to Homo erectus, Homo sapien has large brain, which means we have a lot of neurons, trillions of neurons in our brain, base for our intelligence. And Homo sapiens are highly skillful man comparing to Homo erectus. And then lot of tools, lot of inventions that happened in this stage. So let's see what is the truth about that there is no in between. Okay, so after Homo erectus there was an immediate Homo sapiens evolution, but if you look at that actual evolution of brain, you can see a lot of changes were there. Our archaeology findings actually dates back to maximum Mesopotamia culture, okay, or Egyptian culture, which is just 3000 BCE. But the recent archaeology finding from East Africa, okay, they found a human skull of Homo sapiens, which says that it is 300,000 years old. Okay, that you can see a gap between this and this. Is it the civilization starting? That actually it is not the starting of civilization. Before that, there were a lot of advanced civilizations were there in the earth, like Atlantis and Lemurian civilization. But that is the topic for another video. Okay, like right now, let's focus on this topic. So these are the archaeology finding. There were a lot of tablets that speaks about the human origin, the 7 tablets of creation, and the Sumerian tablets from South Africa, and the Emerald tablets. Okay, these tablets speak about the human origin. Even the UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles University, in their website, I have given the link here. In their website, they have these findings. What these 7 tablets of creation, what is the information conveyed in this tablet, which you can go and refer. I can show you the gist. If you go to that website, you can see They have a separate section for each of these tablets, and we can find the English translation for all these tablets. So what is the finding? So all these tablets, Sumerian, Emerald, and tablets of creation points out to the same thing. They mention Anunnaki. They mention them as a deities. Okay, Anunnaki, and they took a major role in the human evolution. Okay, in the origin of humanity. Okay, so this is my way of wisdom seeking. So actually, if we start exploring the truth only with the science, our science is not evolved that much. We can get the help of science 10 to 20 percentage, but the actual science is spirituality. Okay, spiritual science is the actual science. If you want to find the true wisdom, we have to be open enough to combine the science and the spirituality. Through the spirituality glass only, we can find the actual truth. I will explore the Eastern spirituality mainly from Tiruvaruppa, Tirumantram, and the scientific connection to that. And then for the Western spirituality, I mainly rely on channeling messages. If you don't know what is channeling, channelers who has the capability to access the higher dimensional messages, higher dimensional being, they will connect to the higher dimensional being and get the messages. You have to be open minded to explore this thing, but right now there are a lot of channeling messages that brings us more wisdom. Okay, Eastern spirituality mostly speaks about the ascension process. Okay, I was able to get the connection between the spiritual messages, particularly Dola Cannes, who is the past life regression therapist. She has written a lot of books. I'll show you. So in all those books, she speaks about this evolution, origin, extraterrestrial connection, all those things. You can find the answers in her book. But the takeaway point here is she mentions about Anunnaki, okay, and all the channelers like Bessar, all those channelers points out to the same concept, Anunnaki, and it is like everyone points out to the same story, and even archaeology findings. They also the tablets also says there is something connected to Anunnaki in our human evolution. So if you want to do your own search, there are a lot of books available. So if you do a simple Google search, you can see there are a lot of books. Most of these books are available in Amazon. These books are from channelers and archaeologists. Okay, so if you want to do your own search, you can do it. So I'll tell you the story. So Anunnaki actually they are higher beings who are from higher dimension, who has higher intelligence. So their planet is far away from our solar system. So their planet is called Nibiru. So in their solar system, the Nibiru planet placement is far away from their sun. Because of this, their planet was getting colder. So when all these things, what I'm saying that happened 300,000 years before. So by that time they had this issue in their planet. They want to keep the climate, balance their climate in their planet, and the scientists from their planet suggested to use gold powder to maintain the heat. Okay, to put gold powder in their atmosphere to maintain the heat so that they can survive in their planet. But the gold is not there. It was not there in their planet, and it was not there around in their solar system. Okay, they were in searching for the gold powder to solve this issue, and they are really advanced in space travel and portal travel. So in many of this genetics, they are very advanced being in many perspectives. So they did a search and they found. Before that, let me tell you whether what is a thing about gold powder. Actually, even when we have a ozone layer issue in ozone layer, the whole there in ozone layer, right? Even our scientists they suggested to put gold nanoparticles in our atmosphere to maintain the temperature, okay, to avoid the heat. They even suggested. So it is a pretty common thing. Gold has that capability. So it makes sense why they needed gold to protect their atmosphere. Okay, so they were in the search for gold and they were not able to find it anywhere near to their solar system. And they did a search and they finally found it. They were able to locate the gold in Earth. To save their planet, they decided to come to Earth and dig the gold and use it to protect their planet. They did space travel or portal travel, something, okay, whatever. They came to Earth and particularly they located in Southeast Africa. And we know about that. The Africa has a lot of gold mines, right? We know about that. Even right now in Southeast Africa, there is an area which is called Bekoni ruins. You can do your search. In those ruins, the scientists, archaeologists were able to find this kind of architectures that you see in this image, which holds the pattern of semantic pattern. Semantic pattern is the pattern generated by the sound waves. So the spiritual seekers believe that since they are highly evolved being, they have a lot of technology using the nature like sound and light. So they use the sound to complete this job with the help of sound energy, matching the sound energy with its energy. Come back to the story. So they came to this area and they started their job. The king of Anunnaki, who is called Anu, sent his sons Enki and Enlil. So in all these books that I have mentioned, in all those books and all the tablets speaks about Enki and Enlil. So you can find the evidence that the Enki and Enlil has taken care of this job in mining the gold from the earth in order to protect their planet. So they were keep digging for gold. Their lifespan is many 100,000 years. They kept digging for a lot of years. They brought a lot of helpers from their planet to do this job. And many of their people, they were very tired. They were tired of digging the hole for 100,000 years. So they started to rebel against keep working on mining the gold. What Inky and Enlil decided to solve this problem, they are actually very advanced in many technology, including genetic engineering. Actually, particularly Enki, it seems like many spiritual seekers, channelers suggest he was the one who did this genetic engineering. What he did before that, around 200, 300,000 years before, species that were there on Earth is called Homo erectus. By the natural evolution, by that time, Homo erectus were there. That is the only highly evolved being that they were able to find from the earth, but they cannot use them for their mining job because they need some intelligence to work on that. They decided to inject some intelligence to this Homo erectus using the Homo erectus body and then just changing their brain by injecting their own DNA, making them more smarter so that they can use them for this gold mining job. So what they did, they took their own DNA, but for DNA, for genetic engineering of DNA, they need two DNAs. One of the channeling message says that it is not only Anunnaki DNA, but also Sirian's DNA. You know about Sirian. Sirian is the brightest star that we can see from here, from our Earth. It is the brightest star system. It is believed that the beings in Sirian's solar system are really highly evolved beings. They are higher dimensional being than Anunnaki. So some channeling messages suggested that Syrian DNA and Anunnaki DNA combined together and got injected into Homo erectus body. As a result, they formed Homo sapiens. So which has the Homo erectus body, but the brain development was really enormous. So comparing to Homo erectus, they found this. They made this Homo sapiens being. There are a lot of trials and errors in between. I'm not going to speak about that, but finally, this is the final product, Homo sapiens. Successfully, they made Homo sapiens and they trained the Homo sapiens to mine the gold for them, and they were able to get the job done. They were smart enough to work on this, to work for them as slaves. That was their previous idea. But what happened when they injected their DNA and a higher dimensional ed-DNA, those Homo sapiens, they got the consciousness of the extraterrestrial being, that is higher dimensional being. In their natural natural evolution, as Homo erectus, their consciousness level would take billions and billions of years to reach that level. But with very short time, the Homo sapiens got this consciousness, got inherently, they got it from these DNA patterns. Is it true? Let's explore that. Do Homo sapiens, which is us, do we have the DNA of extraterrestrial beings? Is it not from our ancestor? Our means our physical body, not, I'm not speaking about soul. In terms of human body, is it not from our Homo erectus ancestors? Is it something different from Homo erectus development? Let's explore that. Generally, they say that there are 12 strands of DNA. In our DNA system, there are 12 strands, but only two strands are active. The scientist says the remaining inactive DNAs, they call it as junk DNA. And why that much junk? So you can look at this. 13 strand DNA means that the consciousness level, because DNA is nothing but it holds the information, it holds the data. Comparing to two strands DNA, you can compare the evolution or the consciousness level of 12 strands DNA will be huge. Okay, why it is junk? What could be the reason? Let's explore that. For this, we have to look at it in the glass through the lens of spirituality. It is not supposed to be junk DNA. So what will happen if those DNAs are active like our normal two strands DNA? What will happen if all our 12 strands gets activated? What will happen? So when all our DNAs, all our strands, 12 strands will get activated, we will have the expanded consciousness, because we will get the heritage of extraterrestrial, because we have our DNA, have their DNA within us. That's why the spiritual community people say that all of us are star seeds, because all of us hold some DNA from the extraterrestrial being. This is the reason what happened to the 10 strands. So we have to explore in that perspective what will happen if all of them are active. So obviously we will get the power of our ET heritage back. Actually, this is the predicted time that our remaining junk DNAs will get activated. There are a lot of things happening to make it happen. One of the main sources, solar flares. We are getting the photon energy directly from the sun. Photon is nothing but information, light code directly from the sun, which is working on activating our these inactive dormant DNA. And I have to let you know one more thing. Even though it is 12, when they develop, it is 12 strands DNA. Why it is two strands? Only two strands are active. I didn't get to that point. I will explain why. For that, we have to go back to the story. When they created Homo sapiens, they realized that it was a mistake. They realized their mistake. They are not supposed to do something like this genetically. They cannot play with the creation. Everything has to evolve in their own evolution. They cannot interrupt that flow. So they realized their mistake. And then also they realized that if they left the Homo sapien as it is with all 12 strands of active DNA, they will be like, their consciousness level will be like these Anunnakis, which they didn't want that to happen. So that is the reason why they deactivated the remaining 10 DNA strands, and they kept only these two strands active. So that remaining 10 deactivated strands are the markers from our inheritance. So now it is time for us to get that DNAs that we receive. It is time to get activated. I'll explain why. The takeaway point from this discussion is the original human being had 12 strands of DNA actively working, and if we have it, if they left it as it is, if they left all the 12 strands without deactivating, then the human body, the humans will be spiritual being, highly conscious being like other extraterrestrial being. Lot of things are playing role that even in a natural evolution, it didn't happen because of lot of reasons. Our 9 to 5 work pressure, and they kept us in survival mode. Not we are in survival mode due to a lot of reasons. So we are just focusing only on materialistic thing. A lot of things are stopping us from asking questions. What is the truth behind our existence? Who is God? A lot of things are stopping us from doing that. Our left brain thinking, and we closed our heart chakra. So the unconditional love, which is the key for actual evolution, consciousness expansion. Because of all these factors, these dormant 10 strands, we are keeping it as dormant in a deactivated mode. Because of this thing, we lost the power of that 10 strand DNA. Because of this thing, we miss a lot of stuff. We have a natural healing abilities that our ancestor, when I meant ancestor, I mean the Atlantis and Lemurian. They are very highly evolved being. We'll discuss about them in another video. We lost our healing abilities, and we lost our intuitive abilities, and our pineal gland, it got calcified, and we are not able to as intuitive enough. Even for animals, they have some intuition, right? So we lost our intuitive ability because our pineal gland is calcified, and we are living in a society where spirituality is considered as pseudoscience, when actually it is a real science. Spiritual science is the real science, but it is considered as pseudoscience. So let me give you a map. 300,000 years before the Homo sapiens got evolved, there was a huge, the Great Flood happened around 12,800 years before, which was the end of Atlantis. Before Atlantis, there were Lemurians, who are our ancestors, civilization who are very highly evolved beings. So they had all this heritage. Their DNA were 12 strands, that they were able to achieve all those things with highly conscious evolved being. But what happened after that? They were able to maintain from 300,000 years to 12,800 thousand years before. They were able to use all that dormant DNA powers, but it got deactivated after that. So what happened after that? That is the topic for another video. But right now, the main takeaway point here is the universe is giving us an opportunity to activate our DNA back through all these solar flares. So using these solar flares, we have the opportunity to activate our dormant DNA. So we have to make use of it. So what do we need to do to make use of it? So the solution is very simple. We have to meditate, get connected to our intuition, our higher self. We should have the thirst for the wisdom. Then only we will get to know the real truth. Then only that will give us the power to evolve. So you have to be open-minded when you start your inner search. Start to explore it in every perspective. Use this spirituality as the lens to explore everything. Even if you don't have the time to explore these things, that is totally fine. Live a life with the compassion and forgiveness. Okay, that is the main base for our soul evolution. The human body evolution will be taken care by solar flares and all other things from the nature, but we have to make our soul and the physical body to get along with each other. So we have to live a life with compassion, forgiveness. We have to change our lifestyle. We have to eat the food which has the real light energy. Where the light energy will come from? The light energy will be absorbed directly by plants, right? Eat more live energy with the vegetables, more fruits. Okay, so change your lifestyle, and change your lifestyle by integrating the compassion and forgiveness. Mainly change from solar plex chakra to heart chakra. Okay, change your lifestyle from serve to self to serve to others. These are the steps that we can do from our side to activate our dormant DNA, to have the power of 12 strands DNA like our ancestors, Atlantis and Lemurians. That's all we need to do. Very simple. The remaining things will be taken care by the universe, by the sun. So all we need to do is simply change our lifestyle, live a life with compassion and love. The light will be given to us. We have to accept the light with the love. Okay, that's why I named this channel as Love and Light. Thank you for patiently listening to this. I hope this information that you received through this video was helpful for you. It was helpful for you to expand your understanding, and you got some wisdom through this. Thank you.